Alright, we are back with another LF slash summonable ultra tier list. Finally, we're back doing the tier list for the month of September. Obviously, it has been about a month now since I've done the last tier list and whatnot. I've also been the last two, which by the way, I do have pulled up here, which I guess might as well we can look at it real quick. Obviously, in total, by the way, we do have a total of 37 characters to go through today. So I'm gonna try my best to go through them as quick as possible. So, you know, bear with me in case if like certain units I don't really explain too much on why I put them in a specific tier, and I give like a pretty like bare bones like explanation or whatnot. I feel like with certain characters already it should be pretty obvious where they will be anyways, so I feel like with those certain characters I probably just won't spend as much time and whatnot, so do keep that in mind. And again, before we even hop in, keep in mind this is my own personal opinions, my own opinionated tier list. Y'all don't need to agree with what I, you know, put on the tier list, or just in general my thoughts and takes on all these units and whatnot. If you can feel free to discuss in the comment section down below if you feel like it, or just simply not say anything. Just in general, just keep in mind this is my opinion. Simple as that. Nothing I say here is factual in this video, so do want to get that out, you know, do want to get that out of the way. So there's that. So in terms of last month's tier list, here it is. Now keep in mind, I will say about this tier list, I wouldn't say it's bad. It's more so the mid section of the list I really had I had a struggle doing. And also keep in mind, this list, I will be honest, was a bit rushed because of the fact that at the time I was doing this, I was still pre-recording videos for when I was going to be gone for vacation and whatnot. This was recorded literally either the day right before I left or the day before that, so it was rushed a bit, but it is what it is. I don't know. So here's a look at the previous tier list, obviously. So we shall see exactly how much it changes, I guess, by the end of this video. So let's just jump straight in. I think I'm gonna start off with B tier just to get the lower end of the tier list, and that way we don't just waste time on them and whatnot. Let's just get it out of the way. So Beerus, B tier, is pretty obvious. He's just aged at this point. Actually, he is about 3 years old since he got his Zenkai. Once he gets the Legends Festival this year, it's gonna be 3 years since his Zenkai. So that's it's pretty ridiculous. So yeah, he's just age, obviously. Rose is also B tier. We don't need to explain why. Who else is in B tier? I'm struggling to find the characters. UI Sign is B tier, although I will put him, it doesn't really, the order I feel like doesn't really matter too much, but I'll put him below Rose just because at least Rose has a little bit more use in certain situations with the endurance nullification and whatnot. It doesn't matter, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then who else? I'm actually gonna move this guy to B tier. I had him in A tier last time right here. I'm gonna move him to B tier just because I feel like at this point he's aged, honestly. Is he above Rose? Yeah, whatever. Again, it doesn't really matter. And you know what? Yeah, that's it. We'll keep it at that for B tier. I'm just gonna add him, I guess. Do I actually put him? Yeah, whatever, we'll do it like that. Sure, whatever. So B tier's out of the way. I'm not really gonna explain much about these characters. Let's just move on. I guess, you know what, might as well just move on to the main character. I feel like a lot of people really want to see me rank and whatnot, being Big Pump Daddy C right here. Best unit in the game. I feel like it should have already been pretty obvious where I was gonna put him, because I feel like everyone and their mother has been saying that Cooler is the best unit in the game. It's factual. I feel like if you don't agree that Cooler is the best unit in the game, you gotta have some interesting decision making there, I guess. I don't know. I feel like it's very obvious. It's such an easy decision to put Cooler as number one, just because the meta is just perfect for him. There's a ton of Super Saiyan characters running around, so naturally he's going to be very effective against them, just doing the extra damage and then going type neutral and whatnot. He's just very good. He dishes out a lot of damage. Tanking is okay. Tanking's okay, but his damage is definitely good. You know, the utility can bring, especially with the first strike he uses, locking in the enemy and whatnot. The blast armor, him even swapping his blast to strike cards, even on like teams like LOE where it's more blast centric, he can still work well on that team because he's still gonna be doing a ton of strikes and whatnot. So therefore, he's still gonna be doing good damage and whatnot. So Cooler overall is a very, very, very good character. I definitely see him as the best unit in the game by far as of right now. You could definitely say he's a character that maybe perhaps he, you know, once he falls off boost, and especially depending on how the meta is, once he falls off boost and whatnot, maybe he's not as Super Saiyan heavy and whatnot. I guess maybe he could fall off a decent bit, but as of right now, I do think he's very easily the best in the game. So there is that, worthy of being in his own tier as well. I will not be putting anyone else in Z plus tier because I think he is in his own tier as of right now. So there's that. At this point, I feel we can go a little bit out of order. I guess let's just fiddle in Z tier, might as well. And then at that point, we can just kind of like bounce around the place, I guess. Ultra Gogeta, I do think is the second best here in the game. He's just very, very good still. The fact that he's actually approaching a year old since he came out and he's still this good, I swear this man hasn't fallen out of like the top 5 or whatnot. Like, it's actually ridiculous ever since he came out. So that just tells you how good he was, especially when he came out. Like, there was a reason why when he came out initially, he was best in the game by far. So keep that in mind. Gogeta, I'm not going to explain that much about him. I've explained it a million times beforehand. He's just very, very good. You can run him with Cooler and whatnot, so that gives him extra value, even though he is a Super Saiyan. So there is that. Androids, while they have finally been dethroned as the best red powerful opponent character, I guess, and just in general the best red unit in the game by Cooler, they're still incredibly good, so definitely don't underrate them. And obviously you can run them together on a certain set of being purple purple red, or no, red red purple, sorry, ignore what I said first. So there's that. So Androids are definitely still very, very good for sure. MUI Goku, I do still think is easily Z tier right underneath them. Still very annoying to fight against, obviously, just overall a very good unit still to this day and all that. At least is aging better than UI Sign was at this point in his lifespan, like however many months it's been. I don't know, whatever. Who else is in Z tier? I do still think Ultra Super Vegito is definitely worthy of being Z tier for sure, even though yes, he is hard countered by Cooler just because types advantage and Cooler doing additional damage against Super Saiyans and whatnot. He's still a good unit. In matchups where Cooler is not present in, I feel like Vegito can still easily just dominate those matches, but Cooler's a very common character, so most likely you will be fighting against him quite a bit. So there's that. I mean, even in situations versus Cooler, Vegito can still put in work. It depends on the situation. I don't know. It all depends. I don't know. But Vegito's definitely still a very, very good character for sure. So there is that. Now, I guess at this point, I feel like that might be Z tier, honestly. So at this point, we can just bounce around. You know what? Cell. S plus tier. He's definitely very good for sure. Has increased value for sure because yellows are, you know, Super Vegito, again, he's definitely very good, but you definitely see him a decent bit less now just because of Cooler and whatnot. So Cell, I guess, is a bit more safer to run at this point. And again, like I said earlier, there is a specific team that you can run, which is very, very good, being red, red, purple, where you just run these three, Zenkai buff, your main options, and it's a very, very good team for sure that I haven't tried out yet, but I might try it out pretty soon just for fun, honestly. So I do think Cell definitely is worthy of being an S plus tier, and also the fact that rival characters are someone making a reappearance in the meta, with rival Frieza being more common with LOE, and rival Gohan with movies and whatnot, so you can potentially get his anti-revive mechanic to proc, so gives him even more value at that point. Speaking of rival Gohan, I might as well put him in the tier list. I think I'll put him above Cell. I'll put him above Cell just because I think movies is arguably the best team in the game. Is it? I don't know. It's a very good team. I'm not gonna go into specifics on what's the best team in the game or whatnot. I don't know. I think he's very, very valuable for movies and even like Sun Family and whatnot, while Cell is mainly valuable, I guess, on red, red, purple. Granted, regen's not in the best spot right now. We'll see what they decide to do with the regen tag. I don't know. Outside of future, I actually don't see future as often. I still come across it every now and then, but I don't know. I just think Gohan's teams are a bit better, especially being movies and whatnot. So there's, I don't know. You could interchange these two, but I'm gonna personally put Gohan at the top right here. So there's that. Vegito Blue, I do think is S plus tier. He's solid for sure. Definitely, he's one of those units that, without being paired up with a ton of support, you know, just in general, without being paired up with support and whatnot, he can definitely feel a little lackluster at some points. But he's still good. You definitely don't want to underestimate him completely and whatnot. You can definitely still put in a decent bit of work. You know, he can still combo for a while, farm Dragon Balls. The lock-in blue card can be nice. His ultimate can definitely hit hard. So definitely don't want to underestimate him for sure. So we'll put him in S plus tier, might as well. Gohan, A tier. Where was he last time? I'm curious. S tier. Yeah, no, he ain't S tier right now. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was definitely an instance of Elusive last month just rushing through the tier list. There's that. He's aged. Simple as that. I'm not gonna give more explanation on it. He's just aged. Yeah, there's better options. Jiren, since last month, he has gotten his Plat equip, obviously. So he's definitely quite a bit better for sure. Obviously, with powerful opponent getting more buffs and whatnot. That definitely helps, and also Super Vegito becoming less common to fight against does help him a decent bit for sure. So we'll put him S plus tier, but definitely he's probably gonna end up probably at the bottom of S plus tier. Still not the craziest. I still don't really go crazy over GRN even with this plat equip, but he's definitely better for sure. I'll give him that. So there's that. Frieza, I think he's S tier. He's definitely, you know, LOE is definitely very good, which I guess helps him out. But one, he's yellow, so he's getting countered somewhat by these red units. And just if you're running LOE, I feel like you're not really running him on the core, like as one of your main core options. And whatnot, I feel like it's more so just relegated to bench for the most part. And maybe occasionally you bring him, but for the most part, I just don't see him. So we're gonna leave him at S tier, might as well. Bardock, I think he's S tier, below Frieza. I think Bardock definitely is better with the plat equip, but he still doesn't really have a proper team to be like ran on and whatnot, so that's his main issue, I feel like. And again, same thing with full power Frieza. He's yellow. I don't need to explain more about that. He's just not in the best spot right now in the meta. G4, I'm gonna put him S tier, but do I put him below Bardock? Or do I put him above Bardock? You know what? I'll put him above Bardock. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. At least he's green. Granted, I know there's purples, being these two guys, I guess. I will say, out of these two purples, I do fight Cell a little bit more. I will say that, a little bit more. But, I don't know, regardless, these two, I guess, being more common in the meta right now and being very good does affect G4 for sure. G4 at this point, once, like, his main use really comes from his ultimate, to be honest. Like, once you use up his ultimate and you get his 80% cut out of the way and whatnot, he becomes mostly useless at that point. His raw damage output's just not really that great. Tanking, for the most part, even with the 80% damage cut, or sustained damage cut, is just not really the greatest of all time. Yeah, I don't know, he's just aging. His bet, like, GT is down bad right now, and just fusions as well are still a solid team for sure, but you're not running him as one of your core options on fusions for the most part. At least for me personally, I don't know. I don't really see him that often being used as well, so I'll leave him in S tier. I don't want to downplay him too hard. He still has a certain situations he could be decent, but there's that. I don't know. We'll leave him there. Future Gohan, A tier. He's just not good in this meta right now. He is hard countered by him, and he was already being hard countered by these guys, so he's just not good right now. Just no, I don't need to explain any further. I feel like it should be very obvious why he's in the spot where he is right now. Majin Vegeta. Okay, before we move on to Majin Vegeta, because this one I want to talk a little bit more about. Piccolo will put an A tier. His teams are not really in the best spot. And again, he's yellow. Should be obvious why he is in the position he is in. Kid Buu. We'll put Kid Buu in S tier. We'll put Kid Buu right there. I think above Bardock. Yeah, sure, whatever. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Kid Buu with the plot equip, he's better, but again, his teams are not really the craziest right now, and he's not like that much better at the plot equip, but I guess he has use to counter. I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter. GB, A tier, he needs a Zenkai or a plot equip. Either one, I'll be okay with at this point. Goten, A tier, he's not really the craziest right now. You honestly could go there, maybe even below Goten. Heck, you could even talk me into putting him to B tier, to be honest. This guy just is not good right now. But I'll nice him a little bit and I'll put him at A tier. But he's like on the verge of falling down. Do I really put this guy above? Yeah, for now, it doesn't matter that much, whatever. Yeah, okay, let's move on to Majin Vegeta, might as well. Actually, no. Let's move this guy. Let's put this guy here. Or do I put Kid Buu above him? The thing is about Goku, he's yellow, so naturally, again, he's not going to be in the greatest spot in this meta right now. GT is, again, really bad right now. It's not in the best spot, but at the very least, he does have value in Sun family, which is definitely still a good team for sure, and he's, I would say, their best yellow still to this day, honestly. He just synergizes better than any of the other yellows you have access to, like Kaioken Blue Goku, which, let's just quickly put Kaioken, I guess, in like an S tier. We'll put him at the higher end of S tier, because yeah, he's not in the greatest spot and whatnot, but at the very least, he has use versus Cooler, just because the strike ceiling can be annoying versus Cooler and whatnot, but other than that, like, I don't know, but we'll leave him there, sure. I will say he's at least a little bit better off than some of these other characters and whatnot, but Super Saiyan 4 Goku, we'll keep him around that spot, sure, whatever. I can move him up a little bit if need be. Because emerge the mobs, I'll put an S tier, bottom of S tier though, because he's been replaced on all of his teams by these 3 characters. So yeah, he needs a plot equip at this point for sure. That definitely would help out quite a bit. Okay, actually, one more thing. Let's put this guy. Do I put him there, or do I put him here? I actually don't know. I don't know where we're gonna put Namek Goku. Do I put him above Gohan or below Gohan? He's a Super Saiyan, so he's being kind of countered in that aspect. Gohan, though, is not on the greatest spot. Then again, Namek Goku, you don't really see him. He's a good bench unit, though. That gives... I'll give him the benefit of the doubt with the bench ability, I guess. You know, he's definitely a good bench unit. So whatever, it doesn't matter that much, I feel like, right? Right? Yeah, anyways, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay, Majin Vegeta. Finally, we got some Majin Vegeta. Majin Vegeta, I feel like in this meta, he's definitely very good. And I did make a video on him recently, obviously. And I would say he's probably, you can make a case, the single best counter towards Cooler, essentially, because he does have type advantage. He's not a Super Saiyan, so he doesn't get countered by the Cooler's type neutrality and whatnot. So if you can catch Cooler, Majin Vegeta, which you do with either an AoE green card or whatnot, it definitely helps out in terms of like catching your opponents off guard and whatnot. I love that AoE green card, especially since it's a quick animation. He dishes out quite a bit of damage. He can be decently sustainable with his just raw defenses and whatnot, especially at higher stars. And also the fact that he heals when he transforms and whatnot. And obviously his blue card hits like an absolute truck, especially once you pop his main ability. The only issue with Majin Vegeta, I will say, is teams. I feel like teams is what really hurts him in a way, which is why I feel like you don't really come across him as often as I feel like you would expect to fight him. I feel like for how much of an effective counter he can be towards Cooler, I feel like that's his main issue. I feel like that's the main reason why you don't come across him the most ever, I feel like, in PvP. So I feel like you do have to keep that in mind. And keep in mind, I am probably one of the biggest Majin Vegeta fans out there in terms of like in Legends. Like Majin Vegeta, if you don't know, is my favorite unit in the game. LF Majin Vegeta is my favorite unit in the game as of right now. He's been my favorite in the game for ages. So naturally, I have a little bit of a bias towards him. I'm going to like him a bit more, and therefore I might be more inclined to do something like this or something. I feel like, honestly, if you were to talk me into putting him in Z tier, I would. I feel like this is the one time I can actually confidently put him in Z tier, because I feel like he is actually like that good. Like he's actually in a pretty damn good spot right now. So because of that, I would put him in Z tier, and I'm very tempted to do it. I know a lot of people are like, I've been seeing a lot of people debate about Majin Vegeta, whether he's Z tier or not or whatnot. I've been seeing a lot of people say he isn't, but I've also been seeing other people say he is. There's a whole debate going on about that. I'll put him in S+ tier. I feel like this is the most respectable place I can put him. Is it a bit of a hot take or whatnot to have him above these characters? I will put him above some of these characters. I'll keep him there, sure, whatever. Yeah, the main reason the main thing that's holding me back from moving him any higher is, again, his teams. There is a specific team build that I do want to try with Majin Vegeta that seems interesting, that could potentially help him out. I'll try it out perhaps in maybe some of the next videos I do. I don't know. I guess you'll find out when you see that video and whatnot. But I don't know. For now, we'll keep him in S+ tier, probably the top of S+ tier. Now, Dragon Fist. Obviously, he fell off boost, so naturally he's not going to be as crazy. He's still definitely good for sure. I definitely feel like some people as well, you know, there's been debates going on, you know, around him, whether or not, oh, is he like fallen off, you know, just exactly how much the boost was impacting him and just how good is he actually as of right now and whatnot. I still think he's good. I feel like some people are maybe exaggerating a little too much, maybe downplaying him a bit too hard. But I can definitely see where they're coming from for sure. I can definitely, I get it for sure. I can respect it. I don't know. His defenses are not good. His defenses are definitely not good. His damage is definitely still good. And with the gauge, he's still an incredibly good unit and a very powerful character. Being able to get that gauge and just going type neutral with the ultimate and just absolutely annihilating anyone with the ultimate is definitely very, very good for sure. But I don't know. I am very tempted to potentially keep him in Z tier, low Z tier, or top of S+ tier. maybe above Majin Vegeta if this damn tier list would let me. I'm very tempted to do this just because, again, his defenses are not really the greatest. Granted, I know a lot of these characters, even Cooler, is not even the greatest defensively, and just a lot of characters nowadays just don't really tank. Like, there's no unit nowadays that can actually properly tank. Like, it's just how the meta is. There's just power creeps move that far to characters nowadays just hit way too hard that you can't really tank nowadays in this meta comfortably. There's no real comfortable defensive unit that exists nowadays, so that's how it is. So I don't know, but I don't know. I'll put him in S plus tier. I like this. I like putting him in S plus tier, but at the top of S plus tier. I do like that for sure. I'll keep him there. I feel like this is a good placement for him, honestly. He's definitely still good for sure. LF Blue Vegeta, I'm gonna put here. I feel like this is a good place. I do still think he's better than Vegito Blue, even as of right now. He still has a decent bit of value just because the lock-in ultimate and whatnot. Even he was one of the main defensive units for quite a while, especially since Zenkai. Even nowadays, he can get hit quite hard now. So it's like even he's not really like as much of a defensive god as he used to be. As good defensively, I guess. I don't know if he was like a defensive, whatever. You know what I mean. Anyways, but his stuff is still good. I feel like worthy enough being S plus tier where he is. 8 Vegeta, I feel like he's around this range. Is he better than Bardock? I will put him above Bardock. I actually will, because of the fact that he is on Frieza Force. So Frieza Force is actually pretty solid right now, because obviously you can run First Form Frieza with him, and even like Revival Frieza, or heck, you could even pair him alongside Cooler, but I feel like at that point you might as well just run Cooler over 8 Vegeta. But in case if you don't have him, you could just run 8 Vegeta alongside First Form Frieza and Revival Frieza, which, by the way, I will put this guy probably here, I feel like. This is a solid place to put him, actually. Yeah, you could pair them alongside each other, and 8 Vegeta can definitely work well in that team. So at least he has like an actual team that he can work. Granted, you can do the same thing with Bardock. I literally did that with this Plat Equip showcase, and he actually did work well, but he's been, I don't know, these guys are in a tough spot, but Bardock's yellow, so we'll give him the advantage, I guess. Sure, might as well. All right, Goku and Vegeta. I'll put him here. Yeah, I'll put him there. Right behind G4. Better than Kid Buu. At least they have slightly better teams, but they themselves have kind of fallen off quite a bit. They're fun, though. I give them a Plat Equip, Legends. Come on, give them a Plat Equip so that way you can revive this unit and they can actually be, like, viable. Like, truly, like, really viable once again. Come on, man. Like, do it, Legends. Like, they're so fun. I love them so much, man. But anyways... okay, this is interesting. Okay, this Trunks, we'll rank this Trunks. This Trunks stuff is still very good. I definitely don't sleep on this Trunks. This Super Saiyan Trunks is very, very good still. It's just he's a Super Saiyan, so he's not in the crazy spot as of right now, but his stuff is still good. I will put him, I want to put him above this Vegeta. I do still think he's better than this Vegeta. Question is he better than like First Form Frieza? Is he better than like some of these characters? Yeah, I'll keep him there. I think I'm gonna keep him there, honestly. Yeah, sure, whatever. Broly, dude. I don't use Broly. This is a struggle for me. Okay, Super Vegeta. Let's rank Super Vegeta. Might as well, real quick. He's definitely S tier. Definitely S tier. I don't know where specifically. Is he? I'll put him here. Yeah. I'm only putting him below this guy. I want to put him below him mainly because, again, he's a Super Saiyan. At least he's not a Super Saiyan, but there's greens. There's greens running around, less yellows, but you still come across yellow. I don't know, man. I don't know. But then again, okay, at the very least, in a way, he has the support as he gets hit and whatnot. He has his ultimate, I guess. More so. You know what? I'll keep it like this. Yeah, sure. I'll keep it like this. Might as well. I'm only putting Gogeta above Super Vegeta just because Super Vegeta is a Super Saiyan. So that naturally puts him at a slight disadvantage towards Cooler. The fact that theoretically Gogeta could have a bit of extra value with this anti-revive mechanic, you know, potentially getting it off versus like Revival Gohan, like Revival Frieza and whatnot. Definitely more so towards Frieza, because I definitely fight Frieza more than Gohan personally, and Gogeta's type advantage towards him, so maybe I don't know. Yes, there's purples, but he can go neutral. So maybe, I don't know. It's very like what if situations. I don't know. I don't know. I'll leave him above Super Vegito, sure, whatever. I will actually say, I still fight against Super Vegito occasionally on fusions, but I have been fighting against G4 a little bit more commonly. Like if people usually have, obviously they usually have the ultras obviously together because they're the best characters on fusions, and then either they bring this guy or this guy, but more so I've been finding this guy a little bit more than this guy, again mainly just because I think of the revival options, and then just I don't know this, I don't know. Oh sure, whatever, we'll leave him there. Okay, Broly, let's just rank you real quick. Like S tier is my least favorite tier in the entire, like in every LF tier list I ever do, I swear, because this is the tier, this is the tier that I always struggle the most, because these are characters I don't either see that often, or just in general I don't use that often, so it's quite a bit more difficult to rank than like the top tier characters, because naturally I'm going to use these characters a lot more, I'm going to fight against them a lot more, so I'm going to have better opinions about them and whatnot. And then like some of these other characters is a bit easier, but it's just freaking S tier, man. It does not matter. I don't care. We're putting him there. I don't care. I gotta use Broly again. I gotta use some of these units for sure. Definitely whenever Legends goes in another like down period where it's just dry and whatnot, there's not much going on, no new characters coming out for a good while, please, I'll probably take the opportunity to revisit a lot of these characters and whatnot, so that way when I do these tier lists I can get a much better opinion on these characters, I can rank them a bit better. Broly, with his plot equip and like in situations, he can definitely still look good. He is on movies, so that does give him extra bonus points, because I would say movies is easily one of the best teams in the game. So there's that, and again, red units, like he can have value, I guess. At least he's not green, so he doesn't get countered by these three, I guess, as easily. But then again, you fight against this guy perhaps a decent bit, so that also affects him. But whatever, I'm keeping it there. I don't care. That's the end of this tier list video. Let me just double check real quick to see if I really want to change anything. You're fine. You're fine. I think this is fine. I think I'm comfortable with S plus tier. S tier, I'm a little mixed, but sure, I'm gonna keep it this way it is. I can't be bothered to change it anymore. A tier, sure. B tier, yes. Okay, you know what, that's the end of this tier list video. Let me know what you guys think about the tier list. Again, I definitely don't expect everyone to agree. Obviously, I know there's gonna be quite a few people that are not gonna agree with certain takes. It's literally what happens to every tier list. I can accept that, obviously. Feel free to discuss in the comment section down below whether you agree or not. I don't know what your takes are, where you would personally put certain units and whatnot. I don't know, have fun in the comment section. I don't care, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. Here's my tier list, I guess, again, to compare for last month and this month. Here's last month's tier list, and here's this month's tier list. Definitely quite a bit different. Definitely quite a bit different for sure. So yeah, there's that. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, make sure to have it down below, and also sub to the channel notification bell to never miss out on an upload. We're currently on the road to 600 subs by the end of this month, so it'd be very much appreciated if you haven't already to hit that sub button. It'd mean a lot to me. So yeah, with that being said though, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Have a great one, y'all.